whether there is a reconciliation with his wife or not, or whether it's the next woman that he's with, we need to rewind ourselves and practice speaking our mind before we've gotten to that point of complete frustration. Hey guys, just got off the call with a client. Actually, he's in Switzerland, and it was our second session, and we got into he is able to control himself and understands his values and able to speak his mind when he's around everyone but the people that are closest to him, right? His father especially, and certainly his wife. And I know we all feel this way a lot of the time, and it's been 10 years since he's been able to speak his mind fully about his needs and his wants and his desires with his wife. And now he feels like even being in the room with her is triggering, and emotions come up, and he almost can't control himself so much to the point that he shuts down, and he feels like he's either going to explode or collapse and shuts down. So he decides to not explode, which is good, and leave the room. So basically he's at this, okay, do I explode or shut down point? And what I asked him to think about was, okay, let's rewind in time 10 years ago, and let's pretend that your wife is either doing something that violates your values or your non-negotiables, or is crossing a boundary. Let's say it's 10 years ago. You don't have all this built up anger and frustration. It's 10 years ago. How would you speak your mind back then? And he chuckled a little bit and was nervous about it, but then spoke beautifully about how something is violating his boundaries, such as he wants to spend time with her. He wants to spend at least an hour every week sitting down, talking about the relationship, having an intellectual conversation. Connection is really important to him, and quality time is really important. And he said, we didn't have that this week, and that's really important to me, and I would love to do that with you. Like, beautiful, perfect, no anger, no frustration, calm, centered. And then he immediately said, I should have done that 10 years ago. And now we can beat ourselves up, and that's a subject for another time. But practicing, how would you do that with her? How would you have done that with her 10 years ago is so important for whether there is a reconciliation with his wife or not, or whether it's the next woman that he's with, or whether it's with his father, or even in another personal relationship. We need to practice speaking our mind up before we go farther past our boundaries, because once we're that far past our boundaries or our non-negotiables, our values, really the choice is explode or collapse at that point. So we need to rewind ourselves and practice speaking our mind before we've gotten to that point of complete frustration. And how can he do that with his current wife? He needs to practice in other areas and with other people that it's not so tender, that it's not such a built-up resentment. So we need to practice that so he can actually wind back the clock a little bit emotionally with these people that he's triggered by, especially his father and his wife, and practice speaking his mind and his boundaries so that he can take that calm, centered, mature, masculine energy into the world, into his life, and into the future.
I'ma tell you about a woman whose heart is sunshine, whose body burned hot. I'ma tell you about a woman who's cold as tundra, with some frozen eyes. I can tell by the way she moves that she cares, and it's lovely too.